Colorado landlord is getting heat after evicting a veteran, and now that veteran is homeless. But there's more to the story. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's coming out of the state of Colorado, and it has to do with veterans and homelessness. Now, I know this is a big issue, right? But when you look at the totality of the circumstances, remember that veterans shouldn't be seen different than any other tenants, okay? And they have to follow all the same rules, all the things that you put into your lease that, all the other tenants that you have to abide by. So you shouldn't be giving special privileges to them. Now, if you feel sympathy towards the cause and you decide to give them a little more leeway, that's on you, right? But my opinion is that you should always treat your landlording as a business, and you should not make special exceptions for people, because that's how you get taken advantage of. Now, I'm not saying the landlord was taken advantage of in this situation. What I am saying is that it's bad when the landlord is being, getting heat from the public for evicting this veteran, and this veteran ending up in homelessness when she brought a lot of this upon herself. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. So what do you think, of homelessness and veterans, and do you think veterans should be given more leeway? What's your opinion of this whole type of situation? Now, obviously, I have a lot of sympathy for people who served in the military and empathy with them, right? But I have a business to run, and it is what it is, and while I have no problem renting to them if they don't follow the rules just like anyone else, well, guess what? They're going to go through the eviction process. So what's your opinion? Put a comment in the comment section down below, and let's get into this article. This article is coming from KREX Grand Junction, and it says, "Now homeless veteran evicted from apartment. Here's the reason." And this article, they go through the reasoning behind why this lady was evicted. So the explanation, you'll understand more here in just a second. So let's get into it. Veteran homelessness continues to be a challenge in Colorado. In Grand Junction, one more has been added to that group. As the sun set Monday night, Coast Guard veteran Elizabeth Saunders sat in the yard packing her things after being evicted from the Creekside Apartments. Saunders tells Western Slope Now she ended up violating the lease because of too much trash, clutter, and uncleanliness in her home. Owner of Welcome Home Real Estate and Properties, Louise Eden, tells Western Slope Now Saunders was given notice in June, then given another notice after not cleaning up within the time limit because she was doing both active and potential damage, like fire hazards, to the apartment. So the first thing you should recognize is they gave her notice in June. Okay, they didn't just immediately file for eviction. They gave her notice in June. Hey, get the place cleaned up. Otherwise, we are going to file an eviction against you. Okay, so it's October right now. Or actually, it's November as I'm recording this. It's November 1st. So yeah, they gave her a lot of time in order to get the problem resolved, and she did not do it. The second thing, keep in mind, this is an apartment. Okay, this is not a house. So everything we're talking about is limited to the interior of an apartment. So that's not a big area. That's not a big area, but let me continue. When Eden filed for eviction in August, Saunders did not show up to court for the hearing. According to Eden, the judge rescheduled for the next week, and Saunders sent in a written response saying she couldn't make it to that one either. A third court hearing was set, and the judge, according to Saunders, ruled in favor of Eden and gave the go-ahead for eviction. She hopes judges start to be a little more considerate toward people. So immediately starts blaming the judge for the situation, even though the original court hearing, she did not show up, right? So they rescheduled the court hearing to a week later. She didn't show up to that one either. And the judge still, okay, we're talking about after 2 missed hearings, the judge gave her another opportunity to show up to court, and she didn't show up for that one either. So the judge ruled in favor of the landlord. And I'm like, come on, how many opportunities do you need? And don't blame the judge because you didn't want to show up to court. I mean, that's what this whole situation is. It's pushing the blame off onto other people, blaming the landlord for your homelessness, blaming the judge for not being sympathetic and not giving you enough chances. Well, to me, it seems like you had more than enough chances. Saunders' neighbor, Mark Tanner, says he and the VA both helped her clean her apartment and even got a trailer to haul away trash last January. VA Homeless Program Supervisor Sarah Robinson says the VA can help veterans with anything from mental health to finding jobs or taking care of essential needs. The now homeless veteran relied on a VA affordable housing voucher and supportive services for roughly a year and a half before it expired earlier this year. So there we go. There's some more information there that's pretty important. Okay, so there was someone who helped her clean up the apartment in January. Remember that the landlord didn't even give her notice that she was violating the lease until June. So from January until June, she has trashed the apartment again, because already the apartment had already been trashed. Somebody already had come in there and helped her clean it up. So from the sound of it, it sounds like, you know, she's like a hoarder. She has some mental health issues, okay? She has some mental health issues, and the landlord is trying to work with her. She was having her rent paid through this voucher program. But this is part of the reason why I say, hey, you know what? Homelessness, it's very hard to prevent, because a lot of the people who are homeless, they have these mental health struggles. They have these substance abuse struggles. It's more than just, hey, this person doesn't have anywhere to live right now. Well, even if they did have somewhere to live, that doesn't solve the problem of their mental health issues. And then problems like this arise where, yeah, they are trashing the place. They're creating a fire hazard. They refuse to clean up because they're suffering so bad mentally, or because they are dealing with so many substance abuse problems. So, you know, you can sit here, you can blame the landlord. You can say, hey, the landlord's not a good person and they should have done more. But how much do you expect us to do? Remember, this is an apartment building. So there are other tenants in there, other people who want to live in a place that is clean, that is safe, that isn't a fire hazard, okay? And when you have somebody like this in there who is unwilling and unable to take responsibility, keep the place clean, and not cause a nuisance and a problem for not just the landlord, but for the other tenants, well, guess what? It's a huge issue. It's a huge issue, and that's why she had to go. Now, I'm not saying she should have been kicked out that she should be living on the street. I'm not saying that she should be living on the street, right? But you know, maybe she needs to be placed into a more intensive supervision type program in order to be taken care of, so that she's not just wandering around homeless, because it's obvious she can't take care of herself. Robinson adds people can re-enroll in the program, though it takes time to get an actual home. Saunders says she did make efforts to clean up both her bathroom and bedroom, though the progress wasn't enough. Saunders argues she should have been given more leeway because of her mental health and military service. Eaton says she was, but nothing changed. For now, Saunders will keep her things in a storage locker as she figures out where to go from here. And, you know, she's saying, hey, because of my mental health, because of my military service, you should have given me more leeway. And from the sounds of it, they gave her a lot of leeway. Okay? They gave her a lot of leeway, and it wasn't enough. In some cases, it's just not ever going to be enough. So what do you think? What do you think of this whole situation? Do you blame the landlord for this lady ending up on the streets and homeless? Do you blame herself? Do you blame, you know, the social service system? Who's to blame? Okay? Now, I'm one of those people who believes in personal responsibility, but when it comes to people with serious mental health issues where they are unable to take care of themselves, then perhaps there is a need for social programs, perhaps. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below.